All right, so we're starting out laying down today. Allow your back body to really soften into the floor. Maybe taking some time to spread out your shoulder blades, reach your legs and arms out long, and fidget a little bit into place. And then, having found yourself in a very spacious, grounded place, start to breathe deeply into your ribs. Big movement. Inhale, expands your whole rib cage, even your belly puffs open, the back of your body puffing down toward the ground. And with your exhale, pull all of that in towards center, back, front, and sides of your torso. Belly button to spine, everything pulls inward. And take some time here just for that deep breathing, just cultivating that huge inhale. And the complete exhale. And keep breathing just like that. Okay, before we even start moving, we can start to really engage all the muscles between your ribs, between your hips and your shoulders, just by breathing deeply. Feel all the musculature of your low back expanding and contracting as well. The strong belly muscles that oppose your low back in the front, okay? They are really your team to support and keep your low back happy and healthy. So are the side body muscles on the sides of your belly. So the more we can train and engage these to be supportive for the low back, the happier the low back will be. And your number one technique here for engaging and strengthening those muscles is your deep breathing. Big inhale. And strong exhale. So keep that breath really engaged and long as we begin to move. Allow your body to stay soft and easy here. And think of tension melting away with each breath. All right, keep that long, slow breath. Let's bring in some movement. Take cactus arms here with your elbows bent out to the side. And then give your shoulder blades a really nice tuck underneath you so that your ribs feel really domey and open toward the ceiling. And then, of course, if you notice your rib cage popping up, then you might notice your lower back kind of arching up away from the floor. See if you could kind of drop the low back intentionally down toward the floor, engaging your belly muscles in your core. And then with that engagement, bring your feet up by your hips. So your knees point up, and we'll walk the feet wide, and we'll start to windshield wiper your knees. Side to side, nice and slow. So keep the belly muscle engagement here, always supporting the low back. I'm starting to feel some really nice twisting magic happening in that low back. Remember to keep breathing. I like to exhale on the twist. And inhale through the center. So looking away from your knees and keeping that belly strong, you'll get your most effective twist here, just wringing out your spine. Using that nice complete breath. Inhale. Exhale. Maybe one more time on each side. Should feel nice. All right, next time the knees come back through center, go ahead and bring the right knee in towards your chest and give it a hug. Okay, you can have your hands on your shin, or if that's too much compression for the knee joint, put your hands behind your thigh. Either way is good. Go ahead and hug that knee inward toward the center of your chest. And a little bit of core activation happening here, okay? If it's all right, draw your belly button down toward the ground and lift your head off the floor. Lift your shoulder blades too. Now, could you do this still keeping your neck as long and uncreased as possible? And then if it's okay, go ahead and stick that left leg up and then hover the left leg to point it at the front of your space. Keep breathing. Inhale the leg up. Exhale the left leg, pointing at the front of your space. Let's take a few more breaths like that, just gently saying hello to your core. If it's okay to stay here, and this is a bit much, okay, you can back up your head and just bring your head back to the floor. But if everything's pretty good, you can release your hands and reach them behind you, adding a little bit more challenge. Inhale. Exhale. Let's do 2 more. Up and down and up. Now this time, when you point that leg out away from you, hold right there and breathe. Can you drop your head and grab your right knee? Of course you can. Keep breathing though. Keep hovering the left leg, drawing the belly button down toward the ground. If all is well, you keep your hands reaching behind you. Okay, feeling some heat building in your core. Draw your belly button down and hold. One more breath here in this little core challenge. And then let it go. Okay, you can bend both knees, squeeze them in, and drop your head. Whoa, maybe shake it out a little bit. Okay, just engaging that core a little bit, giving that low back a release. Now we'll move to the other side. Go ahead and drop your right foot to the floor and have the left knee this time. Again, on the shin is good to grab. Behind the thigh is good too. Grab that knee, pull it towards your chest and breathe. Okay, think of lifting your chest as you pull the knee in. So both are happening. Okay, allow the back body to be really strong against the floor. And then start to engage your lower and middle belly, okay, side belly. Pull that belly button down toward the ground, dropping your low back. And if it's okay, lift up your head and shoulders, but keep that neck really long and uncreased. Okay, and then from here, if all is well, you can get that right leg up. Take a big breath in and exhale. Point the right leg at the front of your space. Inhale, bring it up. Exhale, bring it down. Okay, so you could stay here. I'd say this would be like a medium spice. Just engaging that core, pulling your belly button down toward the ground. If you want less spice, drop your head. Try to keep it going, okay? Hover and lift. If you want more spice, from your lifted head and shoulders, you'll reach your hands back behind you. Keep breathing. Looking for some core engagement today, pulling that belly button downward. Stay with the challenge. How about 3 more? 2. Now, next time you extend that right leg out, hold and breathe. And breathe and hold. If you need to drop your head, you can. If you want a little extra space, keep your hands reaching behind you. Pull the belly downward. Very nice. 3, 2, and 1. Whew. Bend your knees, bring it down, and roll it out on the floor. All right, very nice. We twisted out the whole spine, engaged your core, did some deep breathing. Should feel really warm from the inside now. Okay. So tuck your hands behind your knees here, and let's take a few rocks and rolls. Very playfully rock yourself up to a seat. Maybe use your tippy toes to push off and roll back down. Nice and slow. Rock it up. Sit up tall. Roll it down. Okay, I like to take my knees kind of wide here. I feel like it helps me control my movements. So you might try that. And maybe next time you rock up, let's hold there. Okay, tippy toes on the floor, grabbing behind your knees. Sit up extremely tall. Make sure that you have that tailbone tucking underneath you. A gentle inward pull of your strong belly muscles to keep your spine long. And we want shoulders down the back with a big heart. Okay, your spine is as long as it could be. And maybe you could point one of your toes forward at the front of your space, one foot. And maybe it's okay balancing on your hips and pointing both feet. Keep breathing and stick with your boat pose here in Navasana. So if you need to drop 1 or 2 toes, you can, but I'd like you to breathe here and be here for a little while. Okay. As well, if you could put your hands together instead of at your knees, then that would be a little bit more spicy and challenging. So play with that. But wherever your hands and feet are, go ahead and twist over to the right. Look to the right and then look over your right shoulder. Nice and slow. Inhale back through center, long spine. And exhale to the left, nice and slow. Boat pose. Inhale to center boat. Exhale to the side boat. Maybe for a little more movement, you open your arms. Inhale through center. Exhale to the other side. Okay, find some rhythm here. Find some breath. I want you to take 3 more rounds-ish on each side. But take your time. Make the spine long. Make the breath strong. If you want to, you can play around with straightening 1 or 2 of your legs. Okay, as you're ready, bring yourself back to center. Go ahead and drop those feet. You can drop your knees out to the side. Put your feet together to make about a diamond shape with your legs. And then resting your hands on your shins. Allow your upper body to round. Just fold over your legs. And then we'll play around with a little movement in your spine. Inhale, sit up nice and tall. You can let your hands slide up, of course. And lift your heart, arching your spine. Again, round. Exhale, round over your legs. Just like we're doing cat-cows. And inhale, straighten up that spine, lift your heart. And take a few more rounds, just flexing and extending your spine. Feel free to make it really snaky. You can move sideways into it. Okay, finding extra space in your rib cage and back. All right, next time you come up, you're sitting up. Go ahead and pause to drop your hands behind you and point those knees up at the sky. Okay, so we'll play around with some reverse plank shapes. Take a moment to place your hands so that they feel just right. Some people like their fingers pointing at them. Some people like their fingers a little to the side. Play around. Okay, but with your inhale, think of lifting your hips up off the floor. Okay, and just hanging out to play here. With your exhale, move your hips towards your heels. Just experiment. How close can you get your hips to your heels? Then again, inhale, lift your hips nice and high. Stretching out the front of your hips. And then exhale this time, see if you could bring your hips close to your hands. Now you might scrape the floor, you might not. Everyone's arm length is different. Okay, your hips might even go back between your arms. Just get as close as you can. And then inhale, lift your hips. Okay, playing around with back body strength. Exhale, again, hips to heels. Inhale, hips to the sky. Exhale, hips towards your hands, close as you can. Inhale, hips up. So let's play around. Could you just flow with me a few more breaths like this? Bring it up. Hips to hands. Push that floor, bring it up. Hips to heels. Maybe one more time, just like this, nice and slow. Spaciousness in the front of your body here when you lift those hips. Okay, from here, next time you lift your hips in that reverse plank or crab shape, hold it right here and breathe. Now, you might want to keep your chin tucked into your chest if you feel any discomfort in your neck, and that's no problem. You can even drop your hips if you need to. Okay, but make sure you're pushing the ground with your strong arms, lifting your glutes as high as you like, and keep those knees pointed inward instead of letting them splay out. And maybe, just maybe, you wanted to look up, but make sure you have a long neck. And then maybe you step one leg out to be long. See if you could put all 5 toes on the floor. Breathe here in your reverse plank. Remember to keep your elbows soft, not bendy, okay? Always we have a little softness. If you stepped one leg out, switch sides. Bring that leg in. Step the other leg out, all 5 toes on the floor. Really warming your shoulders and arms here in reverse plank. Okay, one final challenge. Could you step both legs out? Do one at a time. Try to get all 10 toes on the floor. Breathe deeply, push down. Maybe one more big breath here. Fun back body challenge. And then as you're ready, you can drop your hips back to the floor. Step your feet up close to you. And then you can drop your knees to the side here. Switch it over to hands and knees. Okay, I definitely felt that on the fronts of my shoulders and in the back. So reverse plank is a great way to wake up all the tissue behind you. Let's take a little wrist care moment. If you want to just tuck your toes and sit back on your heels here, we can shake hands out and get some wrist care done. So flip your palm up, fingers pointed at your knees. And then we can roll the top of the hand down on the floor. Take a little time, roll it out side to side. And then let's make sure we do the other side. Flip the palm down. And then I like to rock back and forth, kind of peeling the palm slowly up and down. It's amazing how much tension gets stored in your wrists, your hands. forearms. Okay. As you're ready, bring your back to hands and knees. Tuck your toes here, lift your hips. Let's bring it up and back to a downward facing dog. Take some time here. Push the floor with your hands and your feet. Okay, gently pushing the floor away from you. See if you could find a subtle lift in the center of each palm, a subtle energetic lift, and then a same subtle inward energetic lift in the center of each arch of your feet. All right, I like to think of the bones pressing outward, but the muscles pulling in. In your downward facing dog, maybe one more big breath here, just opening up your back, opening up your hamstrings. And then with your exhale, see if you could tiptoe to your hands. Just take a long time tiptoeing, opening up the backs of the legs. When you finally get there, drop your heels, bend your knees, and just hang. You can grab your elbows. Take some time. Sway, bending into one knee more than the other. Nod your head, yes. And no. Maybe even if this is feeling pretty good, you take your hands behind you. You can move them away from you, interlaced fingers. Move them away from your heart. Okay, just spend some time feeling the low back let go and lengthen. All the little tiny muscles between your head and your neck, all of those softening. Feel the backs of the legs letting go with each breath. All right, from here, we're gonna roll it up. So release your hands if you joined them. Push down into your heels. And let's roll up slowly. Big breath in on your way up. Okay, think of dropping down into your heels. Make the roll up last a long time. Lift your heart at the top. Lift your hands. Maybe look up and find a teensy little back bend here. With your exhale here, hinging your hips, we're going to fold it all the way down. Hinge and bend at the knees maybe. Inhale to roll up halfway, putting weight in your fingers and toes. Look forward. And exhale to fold. Try a really deep fold here, maybe hugging your knees. Okay, palms are down here. We're going to inhale and step it back to a plank. Just keep it moving through this nice little slow motion vinyasa here. Remembering to use your knees if you want in plank. With your exhale, come all the way down. Squeeze your elbows in by your ribs. Strong belly muscles. Inhale here through a little cobra. And I want to pause to play here a little bit in cobra. Okay, exhale, roll it down. I want to just flow through a few more rounds of cobra with you. So find a rhythm. Inhale, roll your heart up. And exhale, roll it down. Close your eyes and just get lost here, pulling your elbows in towards your ribs. Make sure your hands have at least a very gentle pull back feeling in them. Never push, please. Only pull in cobra. You can make your cobra really subtle, just barely lifting your heart off the floor if you want. Okay, maybe take one more nice heart-opening cobra. And then go ahead and come down to a sustainable cobra, just a little gentle lift in your chest that you can hold without your hands. Make sure your neck is long on all sides, okay? So it's not cranking to look in any direction. And then we'll softly float the palms off the floor here. Tuck the elbows in and breathe. Keep breathing here. Using your strong back body to lift your heart. Okay, lengthen your neck to the best of your ability and think of slightly lifting your belly button in towards your spine here to lift your legs off the floor. Hold and breathe. If you need to at any time, you can drop parts of your body back to the floor, okay? You can lift as you feel ready to get back into the challenge of it and breathe. Using your strong back body here, I just want you to think of lifting that heart, lifting the belly, and let the front body open up. Let it soften and spread. Maybe even joining your hands behind you here. You want to lift that heart a little higher with your hands. Okay, nice opening for that front body. Maybe one more big breath in right here. And then slowly let it go. Take a moment here just to rest your head on the floor. Breathe deeply into the warmth that we created in your back body and just enjoy that back bend magic. Take a few more breaths. Notice if your heart rate went up with that back strengthening movement. Notice how the muscles of the back feel. And let's bring it back up. Go ahead and get your hands back underneath your shoulders here. Tuck your toes and send it up and back to a downward facing dog. Walk it out and take some time. Okay, in downward facing dog, we want that long spine. So you can always bend your knees more if it helps you to extend your spine. That's your priority. And then the knees will eventually extend on their own over time. So we're looking for space in the back of the hamstrings too. You want to lift those kneecaps. Think of dropping your heels. And we've always got that subtle energetic pull out while pushing in kind of feeling. It's kind of the union of opposites as we encounter many times on the mat. All right, friends, we'll start to move. Here we go. With your inhale, let's get the right leg up in the air. 3-leg dog with your hips level. With your exhale, send that right foot forward. Drop it outside your right hand. Let's drop the back knee and come into a little gentle low lunge. So if you need a bit more space here, you can come up on your fingertips. Keep your heart a little higher. And you can scoot the back knee forward to lift your hips. But take a moment to rock back and forth. Hips back. Hips drop forward. And feeling into the back of the right leg. Front of the left hip. Okay, rock forward into the lunge, and then let's start to settle into it. So remember, in your lunge, you need that gentle activity in your legs. They're not quite clocked off. Okay, relaxed, yes, and also actively pushing into the floor. So once those legs are actively pushing down, you'll feel the lunge happening, okay, on the front of the left hip as it contracts to push downward slightly, and the back of the right leg as it contracts to push downward. So that's where we want to be. And then we're grounding into that left hand to reach up with the right. So adding a twist to your lunge. And hold and breathe right here. Okay. Just finding a big wide open space in your chest as you push into the floor. So one more breath here. Think of opening up wide, maybe looking up at the ceiling. And then with your exhale, dive that right arm underneath your left. So reach really far. Maybe bend the left elbow to reach even further. Really wringing yourself out. Bring it back up. Push the floor down. Big breath in. Right hand up. Look up. Then exhale, twist it underneath the left arm. Nice stretch for the back body. One more, just like that. Big breath in. Look up. Big exhale. Reach under. Hold and breathe. Okay. Reach, reach, reach. Reach a little more. Should feel nice between your shoulders. And then one more time, reach up. Take a big breath in, reaching up, and hold and breathe right here. If you want a little extra spiciness, you can tuck the left toes, lift the left knee. But either way, gently resist the floor. One more big breath here in your twisty lunge. And exhale, bring it down. Right hand grounded. Okay, the back knee could come down if it was up. And we'll pull back on that right hip, opening up the back of the right thigh. Okay, fingertips are good here. You can come up on your fingertips to get your heart a little higher because we want that long spine all the time. So dropping into that right heel, think of drawing back on the right hip, opening up the back of the right leg. All right, we warmed it really nicely in that lunge. And so this is a really good time to safely release tension in that right hamstring and calf. So go ahead and flex the foot, the right foot at the ankle. Draw the right kneecap up and in towards your hip and think of sending your heart forward. Breathe. You can stay right here or you can play around with rocking on the heel, pointing the toes from side to side. Okay, you might get more into your IT band and outer hip or into the inner thigh. Feel free to linger where it feels tense or where it feels good. All right, take your last breath here in your half split, your Ardha Hanumanasana, and then we'll bring it back to that lunge. Right foot back on the floor, hands back under shoulders. We're gonna tuck the left toe, lift the left knee. Ready to come back and up into a three-leg dog. So with your inhale, right leg up in the air, hips are level. And then exhale, right foot down, downward facing dog. Walk it out. All right, here comes another nice and slow vinyasa. So come along or feel free to take a break and we'll meet back in downward facing dog. So here, heart moves forward on your inhale, find a plank. Remember to use your knees if you need to. And then exhale, walk to your hands. Nice little fold here. Inhale to roll yourself up, pushing down strong into your heels. Stack your spine. Maybe reach up and even look up. And exhale, hinging your hips, fold all the way down. Halfway up on your inhale, touch the floor or your shins. And exhale, big fold, hug your legs. Palms are down. Inhale to your plank. Maybe knees, maybe not. And exhale, hover yourself all the way down. Inhale here, find a cobra, and we'll take a few more rounds of cobra again, okay? And then exhale to roll it down. So close your eyes, maybe find that little rhythm. Inhale hard up, pulling back on your hands. And exhale hard down. With your inhales, think of drawing the shoulder blades down your back towards your hips. And then exhale to let them drift up away from your hips. And then next time you roll up into a cobra, hold right there. We'll hold this cobra. So you might have anywhere from a very gentle lift in your heart. You might even have your belly off the floor, but make sure it feels nice. Okay, you can hold here, taking a few more breaths, pulling your heart up into your cobra, or you could walk your hands back a little bit and press into the tops of your feet to lift your thighs for an upward facing dog, okay? So either one is awesome if it feels good. And then we're gonna take one more breath here. And from wherever you are with your exhale, come up and back, find a downward facing dog. We'll meet there. Okay, take some time here in your downward facing dog. 5 or 6 breaths at least, nice and slow. Find your hands and feet strong, pushing down. Elbows and knees strong, pulling inward. Big breath and a long spine. Okay, now getting into the left side. Here we go. Inhaling the left leg up in the air, 3-leg dog. Exhale and draw that left foot forward. Go ahead and drop it outside your left hand. And drop the right knee. Up on your fingertips. Okay, just settling into your lunge. We're gonna rock the hips. Forward and back. Okay, you can kind of check out how that left hamstring is doing today. How's the right hip flexor? How do they feel different from the other side? We're always gathering information about this body of ours that we live in. Okay, rocking forward into your lunge. Find yourself at home there. Do whatever you need to do. Pad your knee, use blocks. And then ground both legs. Boom, start to push them into the earth. That gentle resistance against the earth is where we really find the lunge. So left foot pushes down, right knee pushes down, and then a slight drawing inward. And now we're gonna add a twist, pressing down into the right hand. Reach up with your left and take a few breaths here. Okay, strong in both arms. So promise me that that right shoulder is active and the right elbow is soft. And one more breath in here and we'll twist it in the other direction. So exhale, left hand dives under the right arm. Twist as you reach really far. And then coming up again, inhale, reach up, left hand up. And exhale, reach under. Nice, one more time, just like that. Reach up. And reach under. And now take a few breaths here, reaching. With your long neck, open up the back of your shoulders and ribs. Breathe into it. And then with your next inhale, reach up and open and hold here. Maybe spicing it up by tucking your back toes and lifting the back knee. Breathe. One more big breath here in your twisted lunge. And then drop the back knee. If it was up, drop that left hand. Go ahead and rock your hips back and hold them right there. Okay, fingertips under shoulders. You can lengthen that spine, please. And remember, you can bend the left knee to make this a lot easier at any time. So just start to drop into that left heel and pull back on the left hip. The whole back of the leg should lengthen immediately. So remember to keep yourself active. No locking the leg. And breathe here. That's all. Okay, we want to think of the back of the left leg opening up, but you can roll onto the side of the foot and to the inside of the foot to get different parts of the leg. So please experiment. Okay, you might like more of an inner thigh release on this side or more of an IT and outer hip release. Okay, from here, transitioning out of your half split, let's get that left foot back on the floor, hands back under shoulders, back in your lunge. So from here, let's come up to three-leg dog. Tuck the right toes, lift the right knee, and inhale the left leg up in the sky, three-leg dog. Then exhale, drop that left foot, downward facing dog. Inhaling here, walk your heart forward so it's over your shoulders. And exhale, walk your feet all the way to your hands. Take a moment just to hang here. You might grab behind your knees and kind of hug your thighs. But I want to encourage you to bend your knees so generously that you can get your shoulders and your chest close to your knees. Take some time. Rocking your weight around, letting your head hang. And let's let that go. Palms back to the floor. See if you could walk your feet a little bit away from each other so the toes point out to the side. And then start to bend your knees. Okay, heels are about a bit more than hip distance. And then you can maybe get the hips to drop low and lift your head up for a Malasana Squat. And I'll turn slightly to face you here, but we're in the same place. Just want to show you that my heels are a little bit more than hip distance, and my toes point slightly outward. All right. And then see if you could get your heart up and your hands together from here. Nice breath. Think of breathing into the outer hip, the low back. Maybe stick your elbows between your knees and lift your heart up nice and tall. Let the legs actively press into the floor, like you're trying to lift your tailbone 1 inch higher. If everything's going well here, you can walk your hands forward and drop your head. Keep gently pushing the floor with your legs. Okay, maybe walk your hands out to one side. See how that feels? Walk your fingers out. Maybe fingers walk over to the other side, checking out the other side of the low back. And if you walk your hands back to center here, maybe you can try just sitting back on your heels, or sitting back on your hips. Go ahead and have a seat. Extend your legs and shake it out. All right, friends, some great work in the low back today. From here, let's just come all the way down. You can grab your hands behind your knees. Then roll back. Take a moment here, just hugging your knees in by your chest, kind of rolling them around, rolling the hips around on the floor, rolling your low back and your glutes out. And then let your hips fall, or let your knees fall to one side and look to the other. You can make cactus arms. Close your eyes here. Allow your heart to lift up away from the floor here as you twist. Allow your body to cool down. Your breath slow down. Find those big inhales. And strong exhales. One more breath here. Then bring your knees through center and switch sides. Just drop them the other way. Look away from your knees with cactus arms. Breathe. Lift your heart. Find your breath. Notice your back getting gently wrung out. Your whole torso getting massaged. Go ahead and bring your knees back into center. Okay, reach between your knees here for your shins. Okay, and just think of drawing the knees downward as, again, you lift your heart upward, just like when we were in that twist. Knees down, heart up. Breathe here. Okay, giving one last little neutral feeling to your low back and opening your hips at the same time. Maybe you walk your hands up towards your ankles. And if that's comfortable, go ahead and grab the outsides of your feet. And then you could start to play with extending one knee a little bit and then switching sides. Extend the other knee a little bit. And then keep switching back and forth. Keeping your heart up high. Playing around with extra space behind your legs. And maybe eventually playing around with extending both knees. You can think of pushing and kind of kicking the legs out away from each other. Just kind of playing here in your happy baby pose. You can interpret happy baby in so many ways. Just make sure it feels nice. So go ahead and release your feet whenever you're ready, extending your legs out long. Let your arms fall by your side. And then let go of all control over breath and body and just be. The same way you relax into a deep sleep where you're as tired as you can be and you just let go of your body, let go of your breath. Your body knows what to do. But instead of falling asleep, maybe just pay very close attention to all the details of this moment. Resting very still in your own body with your own breath. Notice every little thing happening, every sensation. Notice the breath coming in. Notice the breath moving out. Notice the sound. Notice the temperature. As you continue to tune in to the sensations in your body, notice any tension has melted away. Any remaining feelings of effort or a sense of doing are draining out of your body right now, and you're able to just be. Just where you are. Nothing to do. Learning to just be with what is right now is a very powerful tool that you can always tap into. Not just with your yoga practice, but with anything. Just noticing what is right now. And being present to witness it. And please keep resting just like this for as long as you can. Thanks so much for joining me today.